What's up, guys? So I recently started working on a new app that's all around breathing exercises, and I wanted to create an animation that's similar to the Apple Watch breathing animation. And I didn't want to create the exact same because I was afraid Apple would reject the app. So what I've done is I've created something similar, and I'm not an expert on animations, but this is just, kind of what I figured out while I was trying to build something similar. So I'm going to show you guys how I made that animation in this video. Okay, so all I've done is create a new Expo app, and we're going to start from scratch here and create this animation. So the first thing we can do is create the circle. And this is just going to be a regular old view. So I'll just make it purple. And let's see, width. Set the width and the height. And then set radius, border radius of half that to create our circle. Okay, so we got a little circle. Let's make sure this looks good on every device. So we'll use dimensions. Get the width. And then we'll set the width of our circle to just half that. Okay, well, circle. Yeah. Then we'll replace where we hard coded down here. Circle width divided by 2. Okay. So we need a bunch of different circles to expand. So instead of just having this one circle here, okay, now we got 4 circles. We need to stack these circles on top of each other, which means we need to set the absolute value. We need to set the position to absolute. Okay, now they're all stacked up on top of each other, but we need to center them. Okay, so since this is position absolute, what we're going to do is we'll set a left of width divided by 4, and top we'll just do height divided by 4. We have our circles stacked on top of each other. Now let's start creating the animation, and we're going to be doing a few things at the same time. We're going to rotate each circle. We're going to also slide it to the left and up. And we want the animations to each circle to be staggered, because if we do it all together, then it'll just look like one big circle. Let's create our animation value first. Okay, we don't want to modify the animation value directly, So we'll use ref. Okay, so let's do animated, and we'll do a timing. Okay, let's animate this ref. We'll go from 0 to 1. We'll set the duration for, say, 4 seconds. It seems like a good amount of time to take a breath in, and then we'll do a separate one for the breath out. And we'll use native driver. Make sure we run all this on the native side. So this animated value is going to go from 0 to 1 over 4 seconds. And we want to map that, via interpolation to the rotation of degrees for the circle. So we'll use interpolate. Set the input range from 0 to 1. And we'll set the output range from, we'll go from 0 degrees to 180. And then we'll go down to style, and we'll add a transform. We're going to rotate on the z-axis. So this needs to be in a separate object. Rotate z, and we'll put our rotation there. Well, we got an error. Oh, it's because this is a view, not an animated view. Of course. Animated view. Okay. So let's animate the slide left and up. We're going to interpolate on the same move animation. So we will interpolate. Same input range, 0 to 1. And then output range, let's go 0, circle width divided by 6. So that'll give us a little bit of a sliding range there. And we'll do translate X. And we'll also do translate Y. So we're going to move on the X and the Y axis. Okay, Rod, did you see it? It moved a little bit. That worked, but the problem is they're all moving together. So it still looks like one big blob. So what we need to do is we need to change, we may have one go from 0 to 180 degrees, but let's have another one go from, 0 or from, 60 degrees to 240, or we'll just vary it. So we'll take this rotation. We'll put it down here. Okay. So what we'll do, this index, well, it's item. Actually, we don't even need an index because we can just use the item number. The item number times 45, that'll give us our degrees. And then we always want this to be 180 degrees more than the other one. in the first number, so we'll just do item times 45 plus 180. Save that. Okay, we got a big mess of a blob there. Look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? Let's set the opacity to 0.1, and this is gonna make it look better. And you'll be able to see, you know, the layers of the circles. Okay, we're starting to get there. So let's put this whole thing in a loop. And animated comes with a loop function. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Okay, it's starting to look good. I mean, you can see it's coming together. But the thing is, the loop is pretty ugly because it does one animation and then it restarts from the beginning. But what we want it to do is one animation and then reverse back to the beginning and then, you know, back and forth looping like that. So we're gonna run another animation, and we want them to run one after the other, so we can use the animated.sequence. So we'll wrap this animated timing and an animated sequence. So the first thing we'll do, animate the expanding, and then animate the contracting. So we'll go back to 0. Okay, so the animation is nice and smooth, opening up and then going back. I think we need to add some more circles to make it, you know, like a full even circle. So we'll add some more here. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Now that's pretty cool, huh? It's expanding like you're inhaling a breath and collapsing when you exhale. So that's nice. I think it would also be nice if we had a little bit of a delay, a little wait before we exhale. So on the animated timing, we'll add a delay of 1 second here. So that way, inhale, hold, exhale. And this gives a nice, you know, breathing animation. Okay, let's add some text. We'll add some text for when you inhale, you're supposed to inhale, and then we'll switch it and we'll have text that says exhale when you're supposed to exhale. So we need to center this text within our expanding, collapsing animation. So we'll set the width and the height to the same width and the height as the circles. Okay, and set the position to absolute. Okay, it's there where it's supposed to be, but we need to just center it now. Okay, so we're nice and centered. Let's just add a little bit of style to this text. We'll make it bigger. We'll make it bolder. Okay, so we want the text to change from inhale to exhale. There's probably lots of ways you can do this. I think what I would like to do is have two separate texts, have inhale and exhale, and then switch the opacity from to show one and then show the other, and vice versa. And the reason I want to do that is because I want the opacity of the text to match up with the timing of the animation. So that way, in the future, if I wanted to pause the animation, it would also pause the text. So if we just did some kind of set timeout or set interval, the text would keep changing, but the animation would stop. So I want to keep everything in sync. So, to me, it's just easier, and it's easier to understand what's going on in the code if the same sequence of animations animates the images or the circles and the text that lines up with that image. So I'm going to copy and paste this inhale, and we're going to call this exhale. So now I have inhale and exhale. They're sitting on top of each other. It doesn't look great. Since we're going to be animating the text, we're going to need to change this to an animated view. So let's create another animated value for the text. And this one we're going to start at 1 because we want it to start visible. So we want to animate, we're going to use animated timing again. So we're going to animate this text opacity. We're going to go 1. And a duration of 300 milliseconds. We'll say use native driver, true. So we want the text to animate at the same time as the circles are animating. So we don't want it to do it in sequence, at least this part. So we want this section to be animated together. So we will use animated parallel, so they'll run at the same time. And we'll put both of those. So we put the animating text opacity and the circle move. They're going to happen at the same time. And we'll do the same thing for on the way back on the exhale. So we'll do an animated parallel here. We'll put this exhale and we'll animate this text opacity, and this will go from 0 to 1, or from 1 to 0. And we'll set the same duration of 300 milliseconds. Okay. We want to set a delay on this also to match the circle delay. What we want to do is we want to have one text coming in and the other one going out. So we're going to take this text opacity and we're going to interpolate on it and flip it, reverse it, and use that for the exhale. And we'll go, just go from 0 to 1. And the output range will be from 1 to 0. So on inhale, we'll set the opacity to text opacity. In the exhale, we'll set the opacity to exhale. So now you can see inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And since those animations are lined up, if we decide to have the ability to, pause the breathing with a little pause button, then it's easy to stop that and then continue from where you left off. So that's it. Just a simple animation. Uses the animated API. I'm not an expert on animation. This is just things I've been trying to figure out on my own, and just kind of wanted to share with you guys the stuff that I've been learning. I like this example because, one, it just looks great. I like looking at it. It's very satisfying. But also we get to use a bunch of different stuff. We get to use the animated loop, animated sequence, animated parallel, all together. So that's it. Make sure you guys subscribe. There's more React Native videos coming soon.